We are back on Morning Line. And now I don't have to tap dance anymore because my good friend Tim Takacs. Good morning to you.
I appreciate you covering for me, Nick.
Oh, it's no problem. I've learned a lot from you over the years.
All right. Well, thank you very much for. And I'm sorry I'm late.
Traffic bad.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I mean, we all know that you come in from Nashville, you know, wherever it is you're coming in. This road, this road, this road, this road. Every place that you turn, there's like a bottleneck. So.
Oh yeah. And if there's a wreck on top of it,
and then forget
with the rush hour traffic, forget it. Well, thank you. I knew it had to be bad because this man's nothing if not prompt.
That's right.
Well, thank you for coming on this morning. Listen, just want to kind of before we open up the phone line 737-7587, just ask you, what this time of year are you dealing with anything specific right now with regard to some of the calls, what some of your clients are dealing with?
You know what's interesting about that is that November is traditionally a slow month for us, and it was a little bit slow, maybe not quite a historically slow in November, but then it starts picking up in December, and I think because people kind of get past the initial stage of well, the holidays coming in, and now it's like, okay, now here second, third or week of December, they're going, well, we need to get something done before the end of the year.
Even with Christmas coming up,
even with Christmas, right? And then you have people that are thinking, they start seeing loved ones perhaps at Thanksgiving, and they're going, we maybe need to start talking about this.
You just hit it on the head.
Yes.
That's exactly
Is that
it.
what you?
Well, I was just thinking, I was wondering why the spike, and I was thinking, well, could that be because they're seeing loved ones, their elderly loved ones for the first time, and they're realizing they slipped more than they thought since last Thanksgiving. Right? I really think that happens. I believe it.
And then we start seeing it some more and more. I mean, Januaries and Februaries are traditionally really good months for us because I think the same thing is people go, okay, now we've been through the holidays, we've seen with the family members, we realize we've got to get something done before the the year slips up on us, and so let's get this stuff done.
What's the first step on that? When they come to you on this, because I got to tell you, Tim, having been through it, and you were a great help to me, it's extremely stressful.
It is.
One is because there's no template for it. I depend on experts like you, but I've never been through anything like that before.
Exactly.
When you recognize it, what the heck, what's the first step that when they see this, they say mom and dad at Thanksgiving, they're going to need help and they're not ready to accept it. So when they come to you, maybe without their parents the first time,
which is often what happens.
Okay.
Right. And I think part of it is that if you're an only child, then maybe it'd be easier for you because you don't have to check with your siblings. But a lot of times it's the siblings that come to us, the children that come to us, and a lot of that then becomes trying to get on the same page.
Okay. Right, meaning that they all have to be in agreement.
They all have to say, look, we need to do something. Maybe the details. We're not talking about, oh well, Nick says, we need to move mom and dad into a nursing home, and Rael says that, well, they can still live at home just fine. I mean, there can be some wide divergence of opinion.
Right.
But the major thing is that as a recognition of the family members is that things need to change.
All agree that something has to
has to happen, because if you don't get something done, or at least get started on doing something, it's going to get worse.
Okay. Well, more often than not,
bad things happen.
Aren't they
Falls happen.
Well, yeah.
Loneliness, depression, because a lot of times, daddy died a few years ago, and mama says she's doing fine, but we know she's not doing fine, and all that other stuff.
Well, God forbid they're driving, which not only puts them at risk, but the general public at risk.
Exactly.
So all right, so now, but
they have chronic illnesses, those sorts of things that we know that are coming.
Isn't there a consensus, though? Okay, let's assume you have a consensus that something has to be done. Does that mean they have to go back and bring mom and dad with them next time for the next meeting?
Not necessarily. Sometimes a lot of people now, when they walk into, a lot of children when they walk into our office, mom and dad already have powers of attorney in place.
Okay.
So they've already authorized that child or that family member to speak for them.
Okay. To some degree. Now, what are the limits of power of attorney? It's different than a conservatorship.
Right.
So, and I have it.
Yes.
I've set it up on your recommendation. But a power of attorney allows you to handle some of their affairs. It's not like I can just raid their bank account.
Exactly. I mean, it's not like you can just, because you have what's called, the law calls a fiduciary obligation. Okay. So if you're holding somebody else's money for them, that's a fiduciary obligation. It's the same way when you're have a power of attorney for somebody. Because you have access to their funds, you have to use them for their best interest and not yours. And that's very important. And that's what we respect. When frankly, what we see, most children that are coming in planning for their parents, they've already got something done. Okay. It may be 10, 15, 20 years ago or longer, but at least they have authority.
Right.
You know, and then they can come in and they can retain us on behalf of their parent.
They can do that, yeah.
And in our office, the way we practice is, you know, we have our elder care coordinators. A lot of times the parents can't see us, they can't come in, or the client can't come in. But almost all cases that I know of in our practice is one of our elder care coordinators will go visit.
Okay.
There are many times I never see my client.
You don't, but you get reports back from them. But
Absolutely.
they go to see them in person to maybe get an assessment of how they're doing, what they're
Exactly, and that's very important because we need to know, okay, are they doing well in their home environment? How long can they stay there? You know, what are some options or what are some strategies that we can come up with that can help them stay at home longer? You know, all this, I mean, and obviously, you know, you have a trained eye, you know, an elder care coordinator that's done this for a countless number of, you know, of older people.
Right, right.
You know, then that's the what we call the non-lawyer healthcare professionals. Yeah. You know, that are helping our clients, guiding them through this process. You know, of how they're going to get the care that they need, whether that's at home, you know, or outside.
And the good thing about it, as Tim's pointed out to me over the years, there's a lot of options, and those options are growing on what's available. Now, look, you may have other questions beyond just that. We talk about wills and living wills and setting something like that. Before we go to one of our first breaks or whatever, let's take a call from Brian. Brian, good morning.
Hey, good morning.
Good morning.
My mom, as you know, it's not assisted living. She's been in assisted living before. But now she's in an apartment complex in Canton, Illinois, and they just happen to all be older people. Like, I know there's one out here in the country by me that's not technically senior housing, but it's all senior people. And Nick, I thought your father was doing this assisted living thing, but
he is. It's assisted living. It's not a nursing home, but it's a place where he gets meals. They provide the meals where he's at. Your mom doesn't get meals, right? She has her own little apartment.
She used to, but now she has her own little apartment. And we don't like that because she's not eating right. But
See, and that's the kind of thing is that
you know, your dad. You figured somebody would be helping watching out for those scam things, because I know my mom, if somebody tries to pull that on her, we're all over that. But we don't have control over our money. The bank and the court does, and the lawyer does, but she's taken care of. But if anything ever happens, like somebody called her from Jamaica, wanted to sell our car, and we got that guy, we just took the phone away, basically. And
but that's like punishing the victim.
You know, the thing is, it's real basic stuff. You can go into the place, like he was talking about, people going to check on, to assess the people or see how they are. Right. Things, you go in there, make sure the house is clean, are they taking care of themselves? Cleanliness is one of the major things, red flags. If that's not happening, then, you know, if they know what's happening around them, people talking to them, you know what I'm saying?
Oh, he's exactly right. One dead ringer when you go into anyone's house like that, too. And sometimes things can be cleaned up. Open up the refrigerator. And look inside. First thing, what do you smell? Oh my gosh.
Yes.
And
then
you realize there's stuff in there that's not good, that's maybe talking to you, and then it's just nasty. But by the way, I should have said, before you came in, one of the things I did talk about were some of the crazy scams that happen. And he just brought one up. I talked about how someone trying to scam my dad into sending money to a prison in Mexico where his grandson Huey was locked up. And I'm like, Dad, come on. And he almost kind of in a way fell for it, only because he was so concerned, but he called me first. I've told you that.
Yes.
But taking the phone away from his mom?
Yeah, I mean, I understand that maybe mom can't use the phone anymore, but I mean, a lot of that is that's her lifeline.
I know.
You know, if she's making calls to people and whatever, and maybe, you know, I tend to think about something like that is that what you're really trying to do there is you're trying to make sure that you're managing maybe mom's money. I mean, you have, maybe you've set money aside in a trust, you know, so that mom doesn't really have access herself.
That's
so she's, she doesn't have a credit card, so she's not like calling somebody and, when somebody calls her and giving her a credit number. I mean, there are ways in which you can manage that, while you're I mean, you think about that.
Yeah, you make the money
can't have the
off
phone.
Limits. That's what we did.
Yeah.
Because our folks have a checking account that we keep an amount what they need in. But then they have some savings accounts that are separate that they don't know about. That's there, meaning that if for some reason someone scammed them, they wouldn't know that the money's there, or they wouldn't know how to access it.
Exactly. And that's the important point is that because they are, you know, a lot of older people are vulnerable for that. Even like someone like you said, your father's smart guy.
Yeah,
somebody calls him, he goes, "Oh, wait a minute, you know, my son, my grandson."
Right.
You know, I mean, that's I mean, scammers. I mean, anytime you think that you're not, you know, that you're not. Yeah. That you're not susceptible. You are.
Oh yeah.
Because they are really.
You and I, they are slick. I've run into it.
Yes.
And so yeah, they're so slick. Anyone can fall for these types of things, and especially someone who's more trusting. And some seniors are, and they're caught off guard for a moment, and it's dealing with a loved one.
Yeah.
And they worry about them. Listen, we got to take a break, but when we come back, Brian. Okay. Well, we just took Brian. We've got Milton, Joe, Bob, others, and we got some lines open for Tim. He's here. He's in the house. 737-75. 87. His lovely wife, Lynn, she brought me peanut brittle. I'm not sure I'm going to share it with anyone. Well, I'll share it with Mary Elena.
Okay.
But that'll probably be it. Yeah. We'll take a break. Be back with more right after this.
This is